Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. And on today's video, we'll be talking about networking, computer networking, and why is it beneficial in today's homes. All right, and that's coming up right after this. Hi everybody, welcome back to I Am Gadget Guy. I am Gadget Guy. You can call me Justin, just nothing inappropriate. All right, so we're gonna be talking about computer networking. So back in 1999, when we were first building our first house, okay, we went in there on a weekend and we redid that house. Well, we didn't redo the wiring or anything like that, but we took and we added a whole bunch of Cat5 cable to the house. I had Cat5 in the three bedrooms, okay, the master bedroom and the two bedrooms upstairs. We added Cat5 to the basement on the walls, the far walls, the end walls. We added Cat5 everywhere except for one spot. And I wish I would have done that, but I didn't. And then we also reconfigured the phone. Okay, we took Cat3 cable and we took it from when it came into the house, the phone wire came into the house. They had a daisy chain. It came into the house, came to the kitchen, went to the master bedroom, went downstairs, then went to the control center. No. That's not how you do it. So we took it and we ran a cable all the way in from the endpoint where it comes into the house. We ran that all the way down to the central location in the house. And then we ran Cat3 cable from, yes, the garage, the kitchen, actually two spots in the kitchen, master bedroom, and each of the bedrooms. And then the downstairs, we had phone on the walls, just, wherever I wanted to, so I can have access to the phone. The extent of my network back then, okay? And at that time, this right here, this is not that. This one right here is a Netgear switch, okay? This is the fast Ethernet switch, okay? It's a little bit big, it's got 8 ports on it, and it goes up to 100 meg. Okay, this is one of the first ones I've had, okay? Because that's all I needed was 8 ports, okay? Well, actually 7 ports, because once I had a Netgear, a Nighthawk for a longest time at my old house, then I brought it here to my new house. But so the internet would go into the Nighthawk, and then the Nighthawk would route it out to here, and so I would have room for 7, okay? But then, they came out with this right here. This is a gigabit switch right there, okay? So there's 8 ports. So, the internet comes in here and it pushes out to the 7, okay? So I had a couple of these. I had one under my house that was 8 port, and I had this in my central location in my old house, okay? And then we're thinking, you know what? That was enough for back then. And most houses nowadays, they come with like 3 cables, okay? They come with 3 cables. One in the great room, TV room, living room, whatever you want to call it, the master bedroom. And then the third cable goes outside to be hooked up by the internet, okay? They have a cable out there on RJ45, okay? In my house, currently, we have fiber, and it's coming in. You'll see here in a little bit, I'll show you a picture of where the fiber comes in and everything like that. So I do have a cable running out there. I was right. There's a Cat5 cable out there because that's standard. They wouldn't change that. But in this current house, okay. Oh, wait, before I jump into the current house, this port right here, okay. This is a dual speed port. It's a 16 port. So you can have 100 megabits per second or 10. Okay. This is back when the internet was running slow. Okay. Oh, by the way, in my old house, when people were running on 15 megabits of speed or 20 megabits, I had over 100. That's a good story, and I might tell you that one day. But it's a good story of how I got over 100 megabits in my house in the early 2000s. Okay, All right, but let's move on back to a gig before I left, and it was nice. But that's a story for a different day. Maybe I will explain that story here one day. Maybe, I don't know. But so I digress. Okay, so in my current house right now, let's go over and let's take a look at my network. All right, so this right here is the central location I was talking about a few minutes ago. Your coax cables come in. This is for cables and stuff like that. And your network cables have come in. These right here, these are the ones I've added. But here's the ones that were included in the house. Okay, so it all comes in, and the network comes into here. It's a fiber right there. And then this is an RJ45 that goes out. I wish I could do fiber over to where my network is at, but most of the time it comes in, and this right here is, general big enough for most home users. Okay, but not for me. Okay, so we're gonna come right over here and we're gonna take a look at my network. Okay, so as you can see, there's like lots of cables everywhere. I gotta do better cable management. All right, so yeah, that's on the agenda, but I'm not quite done yet. And so this is what it looks like right now, okay? So right up here, I have a patch panel, okay? Then I have a whole bunch of cables coming out into this 24-port Netgear switch, okay? Then right below it is I have a Ubiquiti Dream Machine Pro. So right here, you can put in a hard drive if you have Ubiquiti Protect, like cameras and stuff like that. I do not currently have cameras, but it's got several different ports right here. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Over here is the RJ45 that comes from my internet. I got 2 fiber ports right there, okay? This is an 8-port power distribution right here, okay? Then right over here, I got some NASs and things like that, okay? All right, so yeah, this is my current network right here, okay? I've got 24-port switch and a 24-port patch panel up there. Yeah, I have like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 ports open that currently is not doing anything. Like this port number 24 over here, it will be open for the time being because unfortunately with my Ubiquiti Dream Pro, has this cable and has to come up here somewhere because it doesn't have a dedicated port for switching on it. So it comes up here, I took number 24, it doesn't have anything in there. So what the internet does is it puts the internet through here and then it runs out through the patch cable, then out through all my cables. Yes, I don't have, some of these are lit up over here. It's because I have multiples in every room, all right? So in my current house right now, okay, I have networked everywhere upstairs. It wasn't finished. There was only one spot I wish I could have had network in, okay? All right, so my current house right now, all right? So when we were building this house, we did extra Cat5 cable, all right? That's the white cable that you see back here, okay? We actually had them do it because they wouldn't allow me to come in and do it, you know, because rules and certifications and everything like that. So they ran that for me, okay? And we made sure that we had 2 Ethernet plugs or outlets in each room. So the first bedroom, 2. Second bedroom, 2. Master bedroom, 2. My office, we only have 1. I wish I would have done second in that because it wasn't going to be my office. I had set up my office how I wanted it to be set up and ran, but my wife took that office over. So, yeah. So I only have 1 in my current office right now, and I have 1 in the great room. Okay? And I wish I would have put 1 in the kitchen. Even though we don't have landlines anymore, I wish I would have put Ethernet in the kitchen. Okay? You're thinking, why in the kitchen, Justin? Well, because if I want to have a VoIP phone out there, I have internet access to it. Technically, I can because, I have a network jack in my laundry room, and I have 2 of them in my garage and 2 of them in the front eaves. So just in case I got Ubiquiti Protect, okay? That's what this hard drive's for right there. is for Ubiquiti cameras. All right, and so, but I also ran something else to it. You might see that right up there. You see this blue tubing right here? This blue tubing is called Smurf tubing. So this is the fiber, okay? And that comes in from the outside. And this one right up here, it's got two cables coming into it because I had installed cables in the bedrooms that I finished downstairs, but it was missing. And so I had to run two cables through the Smurf tubing. So right here, my future internet, I would love to get a second patch panel up here because get, like 24 more ports. Get rid of the Netgear and get a 48 port switch from Ubiquiti. Okay, and put that right there. And then I would like to get a NAS. I might have to reconfigure this, but Ubiquiti has a NAS server. Consolidate all my NASs right here onto the Ubiquiti NAS. That's what I would love to have in the future. And why 48 ports? Because I want to have a lot more things. Because if I get cameras, they take up Ethernet. You have Ethernet cables to the cameras from Ubiquiti. And so depending on how many cameras I have, I would have to have enough ports to support that. And I have 2 access points too. And they're done by PoE switches. Not sure if you can see that or not. But PoE switches, that means that you can power the access points via the Ethernet cable that goes into them. They are Ubiquiti access points. So yeah, this is a little bit about my network setup. This over here, this white one, that would have never supported my network. But yeah, so this is my network right here. It's kind of a mess right now. I'm still working on it. I still got to do some good cable management and things like that. So yeah, but this is the network. And then right here, as I mentioned, these ports right here. Okay, if you can see these ports right there. So if I have other switch, the internet comes in here. I want to get fiber. I want to move that fiber all the way over here and put it in here. But I can take an RJ45 cable, plug it in here, and go down to my NAS. I can plug all these in, and I can have multiple switches or NASs and things like that. Like if I wanted to, this right here is an 8 port. I can have 8 different devices. I can have 7 NASs powered by this switch. I don't know why I would have 7 NASs, but that would be nice. I can have 7 more NASs. Or I can have 4 NASs and 3 switches. I don't know why I would need all that, but that's what that's for. And then these are fiber, and they can push out the fiber to a lot of places. Now, all right, so that right there about sums up my network. So yes, I have future-proofed my house. Those Smurf tubings, they can hold up to 5 cables. It's a little tight, but I don't know if I will run 5 cables to each outlet in each room. I wanted my office to have access so I could have 10 gigabit speed. All right, so in my office I had it set up so that the Smurf tubing comes in, I can bring in an extra cable, I can plug it in, I can have 1 gigabit and 10 gigabit. And I can have 1 gigabit and 10 gigabit and the other port as well. So the Smurf tubing can hold up to 5 cables. Okay, so let's just say that I had 5 cables running to each of the network jacks, and I have 2 in each of the rooms, so that's 6. I have 1 in the great room, 1 in the laundry room. Okay, that's 7, 8. I have 1 in where my current office is at, so that's 9. But the access point up above, that doesn't really count because I might run a 10 gigabit there when I get upgraded, but that'd just be 1 cable. So we have 9 ports. So 9 times 5. What is that, everyone? Is that 45? Yeah, it is. It's 45 ports. Now, that would be perfectly fine. I can do a 48 port just for the ports upstairs. Okay? But downstairs, if I have that, I'd have to get a second 48 port switch. But I'm not going to run 5 ports to every freaking outlet I have for my Ethernet. Okay, because my wife won't utilize it, and my kids sure not going to utilize it because they don't treat the computer network like I do. So I'm the only one who's going to be transferring gigabit, 10 gigabit files. I'll be transferring a lot more than that. My kids could care less. Okay, my wife could care less, just as long as it works. Okay, so like I have a 56 terabit NAS server, and I have a couple of different 10s and 12s. And I was moving stuff from those 8 and 10 or 10 and 12 terabit drives over to the 56, and it was taking forever. Now, if I had a 10 gigabit network set up, that would have been done as soon as possible. I mean, just boom, 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 quick, 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 quick. But I don't have a 10 gigabit network set up yet, but I'm working on that. Okay, so yeah, my house is future proofed. Okay, so anytime anything evolves, I will have access to upgrade my network upstairs and downstairs once the basement gets finished. I'll be running Smurf tubing everywhere. Okay, and yes, I do have access points in my house. I actually have one above me right here, and there's one upstairs in the hallway. And when they were putting it together, the house, I couldn't run the extra Cat 5 cable. I couldn't run it. They said that was against code because a few of my neighbors did it a few years ago, and yeah, that the builder wasn't too happy. So I was happy to pay for them to run it. But he asked me, the electrician asked me, he goes, "Do you want this in the closet?" I'm like, "Why would I have it in the closet?" He goes, "That's where most people have it if they have an access point." I was like, "No, I want it right there in the hallway." What is that? But no one can see it because it's behind. It's behind. I'll show you a picture right here. Okay. But yeah, but when they came in, the inspector came in, and we were looking at things, and they're like, "Dang, you guys have a lot of outlets." No, yeah, granted, the electrician put in a lot of plugs. I mean, he put a lot of plugs in, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, we did have a lot more network jacks and stuff like that. There's one place I wish I would have put a network jack at. That's in my kitchen. So if I ever had VoIP, a phone, voice over IP, or voice over internet protocol, I could have that there in the kitchen, and I would be able to answer it. That's a possibility. I can do that, but I don't really want to do that. I can run it from my laundry room because it's right on the other side, but that's just pain in the butt. That's just a big pain in the butt. I never thought I would put it in there because phones don't exist. Landlines don't exist that much anymore. But I would love to have a VoIP in there. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. But so yes, that is my network. I want to upgrade it eventually. And when I do, I will bring you along. All right. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. And also, if you can hit that subscribe button down below, because I've got more videos coming out here on I Am Gadget Guy about my network, mostly about the gadgets I use and things like that I use on a daily basis. All right. And I'd be grateful if you subscribe and hit that bell notification down there as well, so you can get notified every time I put a video out. I try to put a video out once a week. I'm hoping by Thursdays. Some days it's late, like this one, but that's what I'm hoping. Okay. But that is it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to share them down below. I would really, really appreciate that, and I'll answer them. All right, guys. And until the next video, I will see you later. And network on. That's what it's all about.